To tariff or not to tariff, that is usually the question for US President Trump, and the clock is ticking down to the June 10th deadline when he said he would impose a 5% tariff if efforts weren't made to combat illegal migration across the US's southern border. Now, speaking from London, he seemed to suggest that tariffs would go into effect, that Mexico may not have done enough under his judgment by then. But then the Mexican President Obrador said that he was confident of a deal. Let's have a listen to two very different interpretations.
I think it's more likely that the tariffs go on, and we'll probably be talking during the time that the tariffs are on and they're going to be paid.
An agreement will be reached before June the 10th, before that tariff comes into effect or is imposed, because there are indications that this is important to US officials.
Now, here in Washington, the Mexican Foreign Minister Marcelo Ebrard has been here essentially since Friday. A lot of behind-the-scenes unofficial talks with people like the head of the Homeland Security here and others. Other cabinet ministers have also had meetings, and we understand that everything is set for this sort of very public meetings in the next 24 hours, where Marcelo Ebrard will meet with his opposite number, US Secretary of State Mike Pompeo. There'll be meetings of the economics ministers with Wilbur Ross, the commerce minister here, agriculture and the like, to try and work out a way in which Mexico can somehow satisfy demands from the US that haven't been fully implemented. Now, the Mexican president puts the chances of a deal at around 80%, he says. The foreign minister, though, hinting that if a deal is not made, then Mexico is willing to retaliate.
If we don't reach a negotiation after tomorrow, we could then give you a clearer vision of what Mexico's next steps would be, and we would then see how the U.S. Congress decisions are evolving.
Even Trump's closest political allies in the Senate, for example, are mulling actually potentially having a vote to say, don't do this, Mr. President. Mexico, a neighbor, very tight trading partner. And of course, if tariffs go to 5%, then 10%, 15, 20, 25 as they're set to by October 1st, that could be very damaging for US businesses and also kill the US-Mexico-Canada Free Trade Agreement that has just essentially started its passage through the US Congress. Nathan King, CGTN at the White House.